face.
It's not good. You have no idea how many people actually talk to that mic.
They talk like this, right?
Oh yeah. Transport!
I'm just gonna sleep during that.
Okay, we're gonna do that.
Now give me a job and I'll give you the antidote.
It's American. I paid my war.
Do you guys want to go get something to drink after this?
Yeah, we have a free time. Try getting some.
Yeah. Sorry. I would love to actually it's hard.
Oh, the sign language. Oh, I did see that. I do remember that. Yeah, they're gonna give
I hear you. No.
Searching for that scene on YouTube. Find out where it's from.
Okay, I love this camera. I have really, like my camera on my phone is very motion sensitive, so I have really shaky hands.
That sounds really you. This sounds really you from Japan.
Awesome.
Are you going to dance for us?
No, the panel's over.
That was short.
Oh, I was gonna say, I don't know if the mic is technical difficulty. God! You know who I am! I'm Victor Donna! Oh, the stories.
I have to watch Nostalgia Critic now when I get home.
You guys should watch it tonight.
Still there, guys.
Probably the grand. Yeah, you know what? It was last one. It was there. That's like,
Still there, guys. They're not using it now. They don't need it.
Oh my god, best battle!
Oh, hey. I should actually talk now. Okay, cool. Hi, everybody!
Hi!
I was actually curious to see how many said Dr. Nick and how many said Doug Walker and how many are just like, hello. Alright, so this panel, this panel here, this is kind of cool. This is a panel called Movies That Everybody Disagrees With You On. And really this panel is not about me. This panel is actually much more about you guys. And we're just going to chat about movies, whether you like them and everybody else hates them, or you hate them and everybody else likes them. And the thing about that I've always discovered is that, you know, I say typical nostalgia critic, and everything I see, I think it is fact, and there's no changing it, blah, blah, blah. But that's a character, and it's meant for comedy. In reality, art, movies, literature, all that stuff, it's all subjective. And there's stuff that, lasts through time, but I mean, that doesn't mean you have to like it. It
Drop the
doesn't
bear.
mean that, it's going to impress you or, vice versa. It doesn't mean that there's something that everyone says is terrible, but it has a meaning for you. It does something for you. And usually what I do with these panels, I usually review a movie that I like and everybody dislikes. And probably the most famous one is X-Men 3. I like that movie. Now, I can't defend any of the movies, except X-Men First Class, that's legitimately good. But in terms of how the X-Men movies go, I was just like, well, okay, I mean, it's stuff finally happening. I mean, I saw Kelsey Grammer's Beast, that was awesome. When Ray finally starts stabbing people and stuff like that, and I thought there was a good issue about whether or not, if there was a cure for this, would people take it? Should they take it? They made choices that were solid, and they had to stick with them, and characters, passed away, and they were dead for the most part. And, and they stuck with it, and I liked that stuff was finally happening in these movies, because for a while they sort of going the Harry Potter route, just like, in this 3-hour movie, we get just a snippet more information, and it's just, come on, just do stuff. And stuff was finally being done in that movie. Now, I didn't care how it all resolved, because it's like, oh, you built all this up, and it didn't really amount to anything, or much, but I liked the build-up to it, so that's the reason I like that movie. I know a lot of other people don't, but what I'm trying to get across is that it doesn't matter if you like it, everyone else hates it, you hate it, everyone else likes it. Part of the fun is talking with people and seeing why they enjoy it or why they dislike it, and what I discover is that you actually learn about that person by talking about film and talking about, well, that's funny because I really despise this film and you really seem to love it. What connection do you have with it? What does it do for you? And you usually find out about that person and you actually
Is there a
have
Zoom
a
on
very
here?
interesting conversation. Don't get a fight,
you.
about it.
Thanks.
And
zoom up later.
sometimes, a
wanna
person
zoom
can
up
actually
later.
point out something where you say, I never thought of that. That's actually a really good point. A lot of people come up to me and they're just like, I used to love this movie until I saw your review. Now I hated it. Thanks. But, I mean, which is fine, but I also like, because I'm a comedian, it's less likely, but I like that, people can also come up and be like, hey, I used to really hate this, but watching it again, thinking about what you said, now I'm actually sort of intrigued by it. So there's so much you can find out about people just by sharing your thoughts on something and why you like or dislike it. Or even why you think everyone else disliked it or enjoyed it or whatever. It's more trying to understand the other person. It's trying to understand, the attraction or the disattraction. That's unattraction. So, like I said, so pretty much through this panel, I'm just going to go through and I'm just going to talk to you guys. Yeah, I'm just going to find out what movies everyone disagrees with you on. So we'll just go from there. Here we go. Yes, you, the person with broken mic. No, I go for you. Go ahead.
What?
I would have to say the movie that I personally like it and also disagree on. It's gotta be Batman Forever.
Batman Forever, you like it or dislike it?
I like it.
You like it? Now, there's actually, you're not alone on that. I find a lot of people actually do enjoy it. Now, what do you like about it?
Well, I like it mainly because there's a bit of nostalgia to it. Like when I was younger, it was like they all see Batman movie and then I'm not using. And but today
Sorry, I got in your way.
like it because it is stupid, but it's fun. The action sequences is where we're coming from, and I like that Jim Carrey.
I'm just gonna get up and stand over here.
Very over the top frame between the old
No, I need to stand up.
Now, here's the interesting thing, and this is something you'll hear a lot about too. I like this movie. Why? Because I grew up with it, because of nostalgia and stuff like that, and that's fine. I do think it's usually important to acknowledge that, like for example, what's the movie I grew up with? Like the Ninja Turtles movie. I love the Ninja Turtles movie, but it's stupid. Just say the title, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is dumb. But I love it because I grew up with Ninja Turtles, and for something about, mutated reptiles at the teen age who practice ninjutsu, I think they did a decent job. But at the same time, I'll acknowledge, this is silly. So nostalgia can play a big part, but I do often think it's good to separate the two and acknowledge, okay, do I like this because it's good, or do I like it because it's nostalgic? So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Let's take another one there. Let's go. You hold it, whatever that is, blue hat. Cool. Welcome to the party.
Alright, so I actually have this thing where every time I see almost any superhero movie, I disagree with everybody else who walks out of the theater. Like in the case of Dark Knight, I hear all these things that it's this fantastic movie and everybody loves it. It bored me to tears.
Because you couldn't get any votes before it.
Yeah. And Avengers is an exception to that. I actually didn't like that one. But then there's like Daredevil, I hear all these mean and nasty things towards it. It's my favorite Daredevil, it's my favorite superhero movie.
Actually, now here's something funny. There's a couple movies that keep coming. Every time we do this panel, there's a couple movies that keep popping up. That that people are different, and they're both Batman related. One is Dark Knight. There's always somebody who doesn't like Dark Knight, and the other one, I'm shocked you said Batman Forever, because the one that people usually say, that at least somebody says, is Batman Robin. They say they like Batman Robin, which I'm always fascinated by. I'm like, what do you like about it? And it's actually the exact reason you gave. I grew up, and for a kid, I can imagine that that's going to be good.
That's another one I agree with people. I don't like that one.
And with something like, you're talking about Dark Knight, one of the common complaints, actually isn't the boredom, but that's interesting, first time I heard that one, is that it's too, it's trying to be really realistic, but there's stuff that still doesn't add up. How did the Joker know that they were going to go down the street and have the wires with the helicopters and stuff? How did he plan this far ahead? So that's usually the complaint I hear, or that it's not comic booky enough, that it's a little too, trying to play too real for a person who dresses up like a bat.
When I wasn't the movie itself gave me like a headache because of all the things that was going on.
That I can definitely sympathize with. They do have like a ton of stuff. Just the last third of the movie isn't even a third act. It's just a big climax. It's just a climax. It's like 5 climaxes. This climax, now this climax, no, that climax, now this climax. And I like the movie. I like that. Yeah, like that. That's definitely a big problem. So no, I can see that. I can definitely understand. That's interesting. So you have a very particular kind of comic book movie you want to see, and I guess just most other people in the world don't want to see that movie for whatever reason.
I don't know why people didn't like Daredevil.
I wouldn't get into when Jennifer Garner fighting a blind guy. I'm just like, no, okay, even if he proves himself, it's like, just who does this? But, I thought it was bad. I didn't think it was as bad as people were making it out to be. I really liked Helen Girl from that movie because he's so over the top and having fun. And I like Michael Clark Duncan. Just some stuff I like. So I can definitely see that. Let's take another one. Let's do Hardhead.
This may be I think Evan's gonna hate me for saying this, but I actually somewhat enjoyed Batman and Robin.
See, I told you! Why did you like it though?
I actually liked the Mr. Freeze's punt, even though it's and I thought the back credit card scene was okay.
Okay, well, what did you like with the back credit card and Mr. Freeze puns and stuff?
I just like how it's just so stupid, but it's so funny how he says all the puns.
Okay, now this is interesting because something that I think Joe Schumacher was trying to do with that movie that most people didn't want to see, but I at least can comprehend it, is that I think everyone in that film, with the exception of maybe Chris O'Donnell and maybe even Alicia Silverstone, were sort of under the impression they were doing something like the Adam West Batman. It's the punch, it's the silliness, it's the campiness. The sets look very much like it, the music is very much like it. So I think even James Rolfe was talking about it. He was just like, as a stupid comedy, just like those old, Adam West, it's hilarious. I mean, it's so over the top and dumb and blah, 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 but that's sort of what it's supposed to be. I think most people didn't like it because that's not what they want. They want a serious Batman movie. But I can understand that because there are a lot of people that are just like, oh, God, this is hilarious. They're kind of right, it is hilarious. I mean, as much as I screamed about the back credit card, it's the funniest, dumbest thing in the world.
I really like the back credit card.
No, yeah, if you like it, great. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, it's such a, I mean, I like the play to get so angry at because I'm still trying to take it seriously. But I mean, the film from the very beginning is not taking itself seriously. They reference Superman for crying out loud. So I play it up as a character, but yeah, I mean, I get it when people say they like it for the campiness because I think that's what the director is going for too. Let's do Nike Hat.
Rob Fox's Wizards. I always have questions people with that movie.
That you like Wizards or you don't?
I love it. I think it's a fantastic movie, especially for like back in the 70s when animation was really just starting to kick in.
You know, I have a soft spot for that movie. It's hard for me to defend it, and I can totally understand whenever somebody says they do like it or they don't like it, because it is very cheap, but at the same time, you do sort of sense things.
As well as like the ending was like, you know, there hasn't been a whole lot of really twists to
Yeah, it was very unique, and it is just a bizarre, creative look. I actually love the opening. The opening's unbelievable with the still the still drawings. But yeah.